Hey guys, welcome to today's Love Fast broadcast. It is on a topic that I love. And
How do you really feel about it?
I love it. This is
She
like
loves
one of my favorite topics. Now, it's Live Slow, by the way, if you haven't read the title. The topic for today is Live Slow. Now, why do I love it so much? Because I have to force myself sometimes to slow down, and it's a glorious thing. But we are going to study some characters in the Bible today about who chose to live slow and maybe those who did not choose to live slow and how Jesus called them out. But before we get started, I have to tell you how God slowed me down this week.
I'm smiling. I wasn't smiling yesterday.
No. So I'm 37 weeks pregnant, which is not little.
That's my baby girl.
Ooh, due
Can't
any
wait to
day
meet
now.
her. She's my little nugget.
We've had like 2 or 3 times this week where we were like, we're going to have her tonight, and then we don't. So I've been on the edge of my seat, like totally foggy, distracted, crazy. Well, yesterday after my doctor's appointment, and they were like, oh, she's doing great, her heartbeat's solid, she's measuring a little small, let's get you in again for another ultrasound. I was like, no big deal, la-di-da-di-da. Got home, got out of the van, we have a van, beep, beep, and I busted it. Like when I say I busted it, I mean like I could have gone viral. If there was a secret camera in the garage when this happened, it would have gone viral. Imagine me, 9 months pregnant, tripping over myself. I don't know if there was like a water hose on the ground. It's just my center of gravity.
There was a
is
water
all
hose
messed
on
up.
the ground. There still is a water hose on the ground.
So I
You should move
tripped,
it.
and it's like one of those arms flailing, can't catch your feet, head down. I thought, oh my gosh, my face is gonna bust this desk. I landed on my shoulder, which is all messed up now, and I bumped into the kids' bikes. What are they called? The red bikes? The
Little tricycle?
yeah.
The little radio flyer?
Radio flyer bikes, our kids' bikes.
I don't know why that's relevant here. But
No, it's relevant because I'm painting the picture. I like slammed myself into the ground of the garage, and at that point I'm like, that was awful. In my mind I'm thinking, protect the baby, bumped into their bikes, which then bumped into a ladder, which then fell on top of me. And I was thinking...
A heavy ladder. It's one of those little giants, the little extendable, they go from A-frame to an extension ladder, and mine's like the, I think 16 or 20 foot one, I can't remember. But it's not light.
Dramatic.
It weighs way more than like a normal aluminum A-frame ladder.
It was dramatic. It was intense. So I slowly like got my grips. I kind of like, I don't know what happened because it's all a blur now, but I remember starting to cry. I remember calling Nick.
She was by herself. I was actually at the church working.
I remember thinking our neighbors
actually, I was heading out
probably
to
watch this
lunch.
and they're probably laughing at me. And then I thought, no way, I want them to watch this and come help me. But nobody saw me, just me and my fragile self. But I'm fine. I'm totally fine. Baby's fine. Spent a lot of time
3
in the
hours
hospital.
at the hospital yesterday, getting
But
checked out.
everything is fine. And after that moment, I have these ailments that a 9-month pregnant woman is going to have when she busts it. And I
Imagine if
thought,
she goes into labor in like the next 2 days while she's already this sore. Like her body's already hurting, and then she has to give birth to a baby. That's a terrible.
Are you
thought.
excited about that?
No, it's a terrible thought.
Honestly, it could have been a lot worse. Like I'm fine. It's just a little banged up. But the point is, I feel like I wasn't even rushing yesterday. I don't think I've been overdoing it, but I don't know. But it slowed me down, and I thought, God, I'm just going to rest. I'm going to veg out. I'm going to watch TV. What do you want me to do today? What do you want me to do for the next week? Because I don't know when you're going to bring this lovely little lady into my life. And so as we were brainstorming on what topic to review today, we both were like, yes, I think Live Slow in this busy holiday season is perfect. Sometimes God will make us fall to slow us down a little bit, which is what happened to me yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd say God will make us fall. I think sometimes
Not make us?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. He can. He can do whatever he wants. He's God. I think sometimes
You could fall to slow down.
Yeah. I mean, you never know. Hang on, I'm about to sneeze.
Oh no.
Are we gonna edit this out?
No.
Excuse me.
I'm not going to edit that
don't
out
edit
because
that
that's
out.
hilarious.
But I do know that sometimes, yeah, you know what? Maybe God could make us fall to slow us down sometimes. I think that
Not every
sometimes
time we
God has to
fall.
reach into our life and just kind of pinpoint those areas where we are not necessarily even disobedient, but where maybe we're just We're rushing. This time of year, this season of life, for most people, seems to become a little bit more rushed, hectic. I think sometimes we miss the joy of the holidays because of the chaos. And so one of the things we're really excited about, and mom, dad, family, if you guys see this, which I think most of you will, I mean no offense by this, because absolutely we're going to miss being there this year. But there's something really, really unique, because when Everett was born, he was born on December 22nd. And so we stayed home in Florida that year as well, like we're doing this year, because we can't travel with a newborn or with a not even born yet. And so there's something really, really special about just being in our home with our, just me, Laura, and the boys. Now her family will be here, and then my family will be here at different points throughout the kind of the Christmas break in January. But there's just something really cool about being in our own home on Christmas. It's not something that we do regularly, because we are the only ones here in Florida. And so we typically are gone. We're in Georgia, so we can see everybody, both her family and my family. And but these 2 years, the year Everett was born and then this year, we've been kind of forced to stay home, and really it forces us to slow down a little bit. Although this year has been slightly different than when Everett was born, because we have a bigger house, and we were living in a little 2-bedroom condo / little townhouse villa thing back then, and it was small and it was quaint, and it was actually really, really nice. And this year we kind of have a house and a neighborhood that goes all out for Christmas, and we do have.
Oh my
a house.
gosh, I'm gonna post that. Our neighborhood is.
We should do like
legit.
a live video going through our neighborhood tonight, or one night this week. Our neighborhood goes all out at Christmas. People come from all over the kind of the area to drive through our neighborhood, and so we have to keep up. We have to put lights on our house. Our house is probably the worst in the neighborhood. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better, but
it takes we have to keep up. But we think
we love it.
We love the festivities.
I'm Clark Griswold.
He is Clark Griswold.
And so, but it takes a budget to kind of catch up. Some of these people spend thousands on their Christmas decorations, and it's not something I can do yet, but I will one day catch up somehow or another. But anyway, being here forces us to slow down, but this year it's been kind of crazy trying to get a baby's room together. We didn't have that when Everett was born, because we didn't have an extra room.
Everett lived in a closet. So did Leland when he was first born.
Yeah, our life was chaos for a lot of different areas.
But who needs a room?
Reasons.
Both the boys lived in
chaos in a
closets.
good way. Some of those times. Anyway, so it's been different. Our house was torn apart from top to bottom the last 2 weeks as we juggled rooms and got the baby's room together, and then put the boys in a room together, and then moved the guest bedroom and decorated for Christmas. And I'm trying to put pavers outside, and it's all kinds of chaos.
Basically, what he's saying is I started nesting, and I said, "Babe, I think I want to do this, and this.
Yeah, and so anyway, all that to say, I'm not saying that that's not living slow. Okay, some of that actually is living slow. We're settling in, we're nesting, we're doing things to make our home feel like our home. And being here for over a year and a half now, we haven't really done a whole lot other than put our stuff in here. We put no paint on the walls. We've done nothing for our boys' rooms except for put their furniture in there. And we're finally kind of doing those things. And there is an aspect of that that's living slow. But I said all that to say, I think sometimes when we get into this season of our life, and I don't mean like mid-30s or anything, I mean like Christmas season, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, we go. We got to catch up. We got to get where we're going. We got to get there fast. We got to get all these gifts. We got to get all this food made.
It's never enough. You're never enough. You never have enough. You never find the right gift. It's a lot of pressure. I feel all these things.
And so sometimes maybe God does just step into our life and just say, hey, you're missing it. You're missing it. You're missing it. And I want to read you guys a story from Luke chapter 10. And a lot of you guys will be familiar with this story. And I want to read this to you, and then I want to talk about kind of slowing down your life. It says, "Now as they went on their way, Jesus entered a village, and a woman named Martha welcomed him into her house. And she had her sister called Mary, who sat at the Lord's feet and listened to his teaching. But Martha was distracted with much serving. And she went up to him and said, 'Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to serve alone? Tell her then to help me.' But the Lord answered her," check this part out, "'Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things, but one thing is necessary. Mary has chosen the good portion, which will not be taken from her.'" Now, when you look at this story, you see somebody who's trying to do good with her actions. You see
Perfectly
Martha.
well, good intentions.
Great intention. There's no reason to believe otherwise. Even the way Jesus responds to her is in kindness and in love. You can kind of sense that in the language. But she's chosen to do all these things, trying to serve. Okay, and sometimes I want to make this point. Sometimes I think we get lost in our serving, so much so that the point of serving loses its meaning. And so I've been there in ministry, in church, in just volunteer roles, where it just becomes more of, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. It's not necessarily about me. It's not necessarily about other people. It's just about getting a job done.
Or you do it begrudgingly.
Yeah, or you can do it out of obligation.
I have to do this. And I wish I said no, which is maybe a future lesson where you can say no to things.
Yeah. And so Jesus says, hey, Martha, and all this time, let's not lose sight of Mary. Mary is sitting at the feet of Jesus, listening and learning from his teaching. And I don't want to lose sight of her, because what she is doing is what we forget to do. Yeah. And not trying to make this about something that's unrealistic and super spiritual in the sense, but maybe we do need to actually get a little bit more spiritual in our life. Maybe we do need to get even super spiritual and just sit at the feet of Jesus. And this time of year, I said this to our students last Sunday. I don't think I shared this last week in our broadcast. There are millions and millions, if not billions, of people, okay, that will celebrate the birth of a Savior this year, but have no idea what they're actually celebrating. Think about that for just a minute. Think about the fact that Christmas is celebrated almost globally. I mean, there's some, obvious religions and stuff that don't celebrate Christmas at all. But globally, Christmas is a massively celebrated holiday. But how many of those people have no idea that they're celebrating the birth of King Jesus? Like, how many of those people are clueless as to the fact of why Christmas even exists? Think about that. It's just it's a party day. Why not choose March 4th to give, we'll call it Tree Present Day, and put up a tree and give presents like it? But it's Christmas for a reason, and all these people celebrate it, and they have no idea. And you're like, well, how does that relate to the story? Well, it indirectly, it's that we go. We're celebrating this holiday, and we make it about so many different things. And again, I told my students this. I've been made to feel guilty at times about the fact that I enjoy Christmas so much. Not intentionally, but sitting in services, just having someone talk about, oh, you're making it about the presents, or you're making it about the parties. And I love those things so much that I've had somebody at times, or I say somebody, people at times make me feel like it's bad, but it's not bad. It's not bad in and of itself, as long as I don't lose sight of the purpose, as long as I don't love it so much that I forget to step back, slow down, love people. Because when in the busyness and the chaos of everything, we tend to maybe even get frustrated with people that are in our way, that are slowing us down. As long as I step back, slow down, love others, but most importantly, step back, slow down, and remember King Jesus. Sit at the feet of Jesus. Worship at the feet of Jesus. Learn at the feet of Jesus from the Savior that stepped down from glory, from perfection, from heaven. As John writes in John 1, chapter 1, he says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. He was in the beginning. All things were made through him, and nothing was made that was made without him. And so when we think about that for just a minute, and all of a sudden we realize, wait a minute, I have to be intentional about slowing down, living slow. And it's easy to talk about it and relate it to Christmas because of that. But what about January? What about February? What about March? What about April, May, June, July, August, September, and October? Like, what about those months when life just gets busy, life gets in the way, kids are playing sports, kids are being born, work gets busy, church gets busy, husbands traveling, wives traveling, whatever it may be. Like, what about during those times? How do we take our focus? How do we not, as Jesus said, be anxious and troubled about many things, Okay? And he says this, he says, but one thing is necessary. And Mary has chosen the good portion being in the presence of Jesus. How do we slow down? Because here's the deal. If you follow this video broadcast, podcast, our page, our website, if you follow any of what we do, we are called Love Fast, Live Slow for a reason. Mm-hmm. How do you do any of that if you don't take what Jesus calls the good portion? If you don't take the time to sit at the feet of Jesus, to worship him, you can't serve others effectively until you've been filled up by the grace and Spirit of God. You can't love others effectively. So here's Martha. She's serving. She's trying to work so hard. But immediately you kind of see that her heart's in a strange place because she gets frustrated with her sister. Mm-hmm. She gets frustrated that Mary is worshiping at the feet of Jesus. And how many of us have been there? How many?
I'm doing more. Even in our marriage, I think that it's easy for us to get in a little comparison game.
Yeah, because I work so much harder than her.
That's what we compete about. It's funny because I say compete, but maybe that's really it. Like, I did more than you today, and I cleaned more than you, and I've changed more diapers than you, and I did more dishes than you, and I did more laundry than you. You could tell that we have these conversations.
I don't know what she's talking about. I've never said those things in my life.
But, as you talk about Martha getting frustrated with Mary because she seemingly, with her intentions, good intentions, she's like, my acts of service is what Jesus demands, but really what Mary was doing was worshiping him. But I want to step back because I think that this could easily be interpreted as an excuse to be lazy or slothful.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with that. I don't believe that the Bible is telling us at all to sit back, relax, and eat bonbons on the couch all day without being stewardly with the responsibility.
Bonbons. Those even
I don't even know what a bonbon is.
I think they're little chocolate-covered ice creams.
It's like a phrase. What's a bonbon?
It's like a little, I don't know. We have a friend named Bon.
Yes. So, wait. What am I saying?
No excuse to be lazy.
Okay, we were talking about bonbons. We're not going to be lazy. Not saying that Mary was lazy. This is not at all comparing her to laziness. But our interpretation of this passage in Luke should not be, finally, okay, well, the Bible tells me that I just need to live slow and sit down and relax and rest. Yes, there is a time and place for that, but there's also a time and a place where you have to be stewardly and responsible with the responsibilities you have, whether that... Hey, Angel.
Hey, buddy. Come here.
Are we so loud? Did we wake you up?
You have an hour and a half.
Come sit with us.
This is what living slow is really all about.
So our little guy just woke up. We love you, buddy. He thinks he's a baby because he has a passy.
He's my baby for another few days.
He's going to have a hard time being the middle child. But honestly, I just think that if you want to slow down, in a way, you're going to have to make the sacrifices to slow down. It's not going to be easy. Living slow is not easy. It is very intentional, meaning... This guy hasn't told you this, but he wakes up at 5 o'clock and goes to the gym every single morning. Okay? I haven't told
Not every morning. I went at 9 today. But
okay, my bad. Half of the week. For me, I don't necessarily do this every morning, but I would like to. This morning when the kids came in our room around 5, I couldn't go back to sleep.
When I was going to go to the gym.
Yeah, I couldn't go back to sleep, so I stayed awake and I journaled and I read a book and I prayed. And that was living slow for me. Now, was it easy to wake up at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock to live slow, to sit with Jesus? No. But I knew in order to be filled up that day and to have this constant feeling of peace and satisfaction that I sat with Jesus that day, that is living slow. Living slow is not necessarily the pace in which you live your life, like, poking around and yada, 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 and you're late to everything and you're living on this island tropical vacation time. Living slow, hey Angel, living slow is being intentional with the time that you have and spending it very, very wisely, being responsible with your time with Jesus, with your family, with quality time, and with the responsibilities you have with work, especially this time of year. You guys might have deadlines, you might have budget issues, you might have projects that you're working on. I know I do. But I'm going to live slow by carving out the time to spend with Jesus so it paces my heart and focus.
Culture dictates in a lot of ways, as we're wrapping up, the pace at which our life goes. And there's a difference in the pace your life is going and the pace your heart is going.
Yeah.
And so busyness is not necessarily a bad thing.
We can have a packed schedule but still live slow.
Right. And so, you've heard it said, and I think there's a lot of truth in this, if the devil can't make you sin, he'll make you busy. or if he can't get your heart, he'll make you busy. And because there's something about busyness that kind of steals our attention from God. And so amongst the busyness, okay, I think it's super, super important that we understand the only reason we have the ability to be busy is because God has given us enough grace to take another breath. And when we really put into perspective how we are here, why we are here, then even in the busyness, even in the chaos at times, even in the fighting of your 3 and your 5-year-old, and the soon-to-be birth of your baby, and the Christmas shopping, and the church serving, and the holiday parties, Christmas parties, Hanukkah parties. I've never been to a Hanukkah party, but I'd love to. That'd be cool. Even amidst all those things, in the busyness, to give thanks to God, to give place to God, to be who He is intended to be in your life, is to live slow.
Yeah.
And to
state of mind,
and to enjoy, to enjoy the moments that God gives us, to not take for granted maybe the peace, the joy, the friendships, the relationships.
So maybe before you get started on today, maybe before you take another step on your to-do list, take 5 minutes and just be silent. This is like a good practice. Just be silent. Or for me, I journal. It's very therapeutic. Or listen to soft music. Or just sit and do nothing for just a period of time to settle your heart, focus on God. Let me tell you, I know it seems a little weird at first, and I know that forcing yourself to slow down is hard at first because your mind is still going to be going 90 to nothing, but practice it and you're going to eventually feel that contentment of, okay, living slow, all is good. God, I gave it to you, surrender my day to you. What would you have me do for the rest of the hours of today? Tomorrow I'm going to wake up, I'm going to worship you, I'm going to praise you, I'm going to read a little bit, I'm going to try to serve people with the right attitude like Mary had and still be effective for your kingdom. So live slow today. I know that was vast. I know it was fun. We added a guest right here.
He's our guest speaker today.
Do you have anything you want to say, Everett?
No.
Okay.
He just wants to teach about living slow by loving on me. This is living slow.
He's not awake yet. We love him.
Enjoying the moments you have with your kids and not getting frustrated when they interrupt things, which I'm really guilty.
Interrupting.
Which I'm guilty of. Not at all. He's actually being really precious. So yeah.
We love you guys.
Love you.
I forgot. I meant to mention to you guys, ladies out there, anybody who wants to develop this habit of living slow, I lead an online Bible study called Live Slow Bible Study, and it's going over a new book we're starting back in January, and I would love for you to be a part of it. We have several hundred women who already participate. It's via email. It's not through social media. It's something that I can connect with you guys off of social media, through podcasts, through videos, just to teach and share and learn about the Bible together and live slow as often as possible together. So if you would like to be a part of that online Bible study, then drop your email below and register for that because it's starting up again soon. I don't want you to miss out.
Awesome. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you next week, which will be the Thursday before Christmas.
What if we have a baby by then?
We might have a little girl by then. Hey, if we do have our baby, we don't know what that means for our broadcast. It might interrupt it.
But we might post a lot of really cute pictures, so that'll be fine.
So just be paying attention, and we'll keep you posted on what's going on. And hey, we might do our broadcast from a hospital bed. You never know.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, we love you guys. We hope that you will live slow and enjoy the moments this Christmas that God has given you, and in the new year to come. Let us know.
Live it right.
Yeah.
Mike.
One life, live it right. Let us know how we can serve you or help you. If you have questions, comments, I think there's a link below. Is that right?
Yep.
Right on his head. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, love you. Thanks for joining. See you next time.